welcome everyone to the first ever in the history of the world Miro user group for the Brisbane chapter. So you are all, congratulations, you're founder members. So great to have friends and new friends here tonight. So yeah, James and I are really excited about this. You know, we've been using Miro for just since COVID. Some of us maybe remember the real-time board back in the day, but yeah, we were really made to change our view on face-to-face communication during COVID. And you know, when we were working at Origin, really watching our teams lift their velocity using this product during the lockdown really changed our thinking, and we really got into it. And it's been a really good productivity tool that I take to a lot of clients now. So at the risk of boring you, most of you know me far too well, but yeah, I'm an agile coach of many years from the UK via New Zealand, now Brisbane, worked at Suncorp, Origin, now at Rio Tinto, setting up a very large agile practice there. So excited about that, and I'll hand you over to James to introduce himself.
All right, so my name is James. I'm a agile coach, fairly new to it rather than the old legacy of Lee, who's been here for what, 40, 45, 50 years.
I'll take that.
Yeah. Prior to that, though, I worked in federal government, state government, and a couple different private organizations, but I'm at Lee at Origin. But in terms of that as well, I've worked across a broad spectrum of roles in different project teams. So as a business analyst, tester, developer, scrum master, agile coach. So sort of moving my way through it. And from the use of Miro, with roles changing throughout COVID, because of COVID, thank you. I've been able to use Miro for different sorts of things, from BA sort of tasks where you'd have wireframing, product backlogs, etc., and through to agile coaching, visual management boards, all that sort of stuff. So it's been really interesting to see it sort of grow throughout the organization, and people just go absolutely crazy with how they use it. Every time I look at a board, there's always something new and different to how someone's using it, really.
Yeah, we went from agile teams all the way through the organization up to board members using it. So it was something different was happening. So a little bit of the agenda for this evening. You know, it's not going to be a long session tonight. This is kind of our fact finding, trying to start the community, get it going, talking about things like how often we want to meet, but you know, the welcome, I guess we've done. The icebreaker, we'll do that shortly. Then we'll take you through some of the basics. Again, not sure where you guys are at with your Miro usage. I'm thinking probably some of you are probably better than us. But the whole point of this is it's a bit of a community to learn, get better, and share stuff, right? And that's the beauty of having a group. The one thing, we'll bring a bit of agile into it, is we're going to create a product backlog and really look at, you know, what are the things we want to do with this group. Kind of prioritize it, have a bit of a vote, and try and decide what we're going to do next time. And then just have a bit of a QA and close, and a bit of a chat. But so quite a lightweight agenda tonight, I think. But you know, it's Thursday night and getting to the end of a long week. I'm off to New Zealand on Saturday on my first overseas flight, and yeah, quite happy about that. So for the icebreaker, you guys are familiar with this. There's the two villains on the board there already. If you can go to that part, if you can navigate, if you can find James, he's on that part of the board. Just, you can create a post-it or put an image there, or an avatar of your name and why you're here. What do you want to learn? What are you here? Are you just here for the comedy? Or are you just here to learn something? Who knows? Let's start at the top. Let's start with Sharon. Let's go. 12 o'clock. Well, it's nearly 11 o'clock actually, isn't it? There we are.
I'm trying to circle. What am I here for? I use Miro a lot, like super lot. Love it. And one of the things that I'm really looking for is, how do I expand my skills? Like, how do I do the circles? Because you know, I'm looking to take it to the next level. But I'm also really interested in cats, obviously.
I'm sorry, I just had to see like what happened.
You can't be a good cat picture. can't you?
Which one's Rachel?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was me. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So
It's a good feature if you want to get rid of it. Yeah.
as I said, I've been using this as a planning tool, as a collaboration tool. I've also been using it a lot to just help people understand that you can talk to each other and share information in many different formats. And it's just really captured the imagination of a lot of people. So I'm just keen to see how other people are using it as well.
Cool. Thank you. Mike.
I signed up for the tool probably about 6 months ago to help with CBAP study, and basically went through BABOK and like put in all the knowledge areas and did like a whole hierarchy around all the different, I don't even know what they're called anymore. It's been a while since I looked at it. But yeah, just basically tried to break down all the knowledge areas and stuff. And recently had a workshop where I needed to do something digitally and couldn't get the in-house tools to work. So I've created a board and did some online post-its with the vendor to get stuff moving because I didn't have anything else to use. So keen to actually use it and figure out how to take more advantage of it.
Yeah. Good stuff. Cheers, man. Rachel, the cat person.
I'm part of like cats like covering your whole monitor. We're not really using that much at work yet. I think they're trying to like get buy-in in either Miro or Miro. I used Miro for training I did recently, and I thought it was really cool. So I think it'd be good to learn more on how people use it in like visual facilitation.
Yeah. Miro is like named after a Spanish artist, and mural sounds like an old lady's name, so I know which one I'd pick. But anyway, moving on. We're not biased here.
Well, I mostly have 3 cats, so maybe I go for the old lady option. I don't know.
One looks really angry. Actually, they all do.
That's my partner's phone case. I printed out for his birthday.
That poor guy.
Okay. Hi, Debbie. Can you hear us?
Yeah, hi. So we use it quite a bit at work. So I guess just trying to find out some different ideas and see how other people are using it, really.
Yeah, cool. Yes, yeah. I think most people who come here tonight are probably quite accomplished. So this could be the bedrock of the community. So I'm moving on to Ben. Why are you here, bud?
Hey all. So yeah, I'm here to connect with you guys and understand how you guys use the tool as well. So similar to what others have said, I'm probably about almost 18 months into my Miro journey. So I've heavily influenced my organization to buy into Miro. So we had a look at Mural as well. So we've since become business users, and I think we've got about 200 ad hoc users across the rest of the organization. So I use it similar to Sharon every day. I use it for my own personal stuff. So I took all my notes from my training I've done over the last 4 days for myself personally. And then I've used it for quarterly planning for 70 odd people to collaborate across various time zones and various areas across the world. So yeah, no, I love the tool, and I'm really keen to use it to the best of its ability.
Cool, man. Thank you very much.
That's
Okay,
everyone, right? Yeah.
Is that everybody? Have I got everyone?
Yeah, that was everyone.
I think we've got everyone. Okay,
All right.
on to our exercise. So again, getting to learn to use the tool. Just really, yeah, if you can sort of, most of you know the drill, sort of grab a dot and really sort of on the Miro Experience Network, TM, as we've designed this, just sort of put a dot where you think you are, and just to elaborate a bit further, maybe put your initials on there too, if you're brave, if you want to share your identity, but you are welcome to be remaining anonymous if you wish. Okay, cool. Well, it's just a bit of a fun exercise. Again, you know, it's just, you know, teaching you guys things you already know about online facilitation, and, you know, kind of some of the things of how you can gamify things, so keep people engaged. friend of mine said, so Miro is really good at democratizing the facilitation process. You know, even when you, as much as we love our post-its and pens in workshop, you always get the bossy, shouty people at the front, you know, and then you have in as a facilitator to pull the other guy's opinions out from the back, you know. Here it kind of almost happens organically because people feel more comfortable. But over to James.
Right, so we'll crack on with the Miro 101. We're going to make this really brief because it sounds like you guys are more experienced than us. So we won't play that out though. But what is Miro? You guys have all played in there before. It's essentially just an interactive collaboration tool that, from what I've seen, is essentially limited to your imagination and how you want to sort of use it, really. There's endless amounts of templates and different use cases. So we'll run through those examples later on from what we've seen, how Miro's been used, and then you guys could probably share with some of your thoughts around what you've seen and used it for, and then we'll keep it flowing like that. So cracking on. So with the bit of Miro 101 stuff, so at the moment I'm in presentation mode. So if I'll jump out of that now so I can sort of show you guys around. For those of you who don't really know the tool too well, there's 4 main toolbars in Miro. So you've got the main board menu, which is this one up here. So this is where you can export the board, you can favorite it, you can do all that sort of stuff. There's a range of different exports you can do. You can attach it to Jira and whatnot. Then you've also got the settings toolbar. So that's up here on the right. So up here, there's some cool little features, but essentially that button there brings you this settings options, but you can also see who's actually in the board at the time, and you can sort of watch them and pull people to you. And then you've got the reactions as well. So if we say that's a hand, I'll say I'm doing fire at the moment. So let's do that. And then you've also got the collaboration bit over here where you can take notes, you can set an agenda, project summaries, stuff like that. So that's really cool. Then we've got the object menu. So this is where the magic happens. So this is where you'll find your templates. You can drop your text, your sticky notes, cards, shapes, you name it, it's there. Integrations, everything. The cool thing with this, which I only recently found out, even though I've been using it for a while, is actually you can drag the ones you use a lot off into that menu there. So that's handy for stuff that you're always sort of digging through here for. You can actually drag it into that toolbar for yourself as well. And then at the bottom here, you've got the collaboration toolbar. So you've got frames, which we'll run over later in a bit more detail. Presentation mode, which I'm jumping in and out of. Comments, we can also have online chats. Me and Lee tested this out the other night, preparing for this. You can do video chat.
Yes, we actually prepared.
Yep, we prepared.
Believe it or not.
You've got your voting and your timer, and just activity as well, which allows you to see all the activity that's happened in the board since it's been basically running. So moving on. So moving around, boards are infinite. I am yet to hit a limit in the board. I feel like there would be a limit somewhere, but probably too hard to find. The memory in your computer will probably crash before you actually hit the limit of the board. So that's probably why it is infinite. And then there's the navigation mode. So for those of you who have a desktop at home and then you've got a laptop at work or vice versa, up here in the settings menu, there's actually the navigation mode. And by clicking on that, it can actually sort of look at how you use your the board in terms of navigation. So you can go touch screen, mouse, or use a trackpad. So I've got the trackpad set because I'm on the laptop. He'll probably have the mouse set because he's old and can't use a trackpad, but that's usual for Lee. And then you've got the toolbar, mouse, trackpad, touch screen. So that's what we just went through. Cursors to move around. So you can use this to move around. So if you've got a keyboard there, you can move around. It doesn't move around too much. You've got the zoom in and out buttons. You can use your keyboard, but down in the right-hand corner here, you've got the zoom in and out options as well. And then you've got fit to screen. So that's always fun. Probably shouldn't have clicked that when I was doing this, right?
Oh, live life.
Oh, yes. Hand to grab and move, and then arrows to select. So if you toggle with V, so if you hit the toolbar, dragging around. So as you'll see with people when they jump in the Miro boards, they tend to start to move the objects around by accident. An easy way to tell them to sort of sort themselves out, just use the V keyboard shortcut to switch between the hand movements and the knot. That's pretty handy.
That's a really important thing, you know, especially when you've got a big group, that people know the difference. So good rookie tip when you're setting up with a new group is to emphasize that one. And now we'll talk about some of the dark arts of Miro. So the
wizardry.
Yeah, a bit of wizardry, some tips and tricks. You know, there's things like you click once to select it and click twice and you can add text on the inside. There's a couple of some of my favorites. The tab key to add post-its. So once and by all means try this as you're doing it, put a post-it on the screen and hit tab and it'll create as many post-its as you want. You can have an absolute ball. And then my probably other favorite one is the whole shift to click and drag. So if you hold down shift and drag with left click with your mouse, it's like the lasso effect. So if you want to select multiple objects, so if you want to group them all or sort them or just even move them, that'll work well. But probably the one to win everything is the Control Z or Z, depending on what continent you're from, to undo. Or there's the little back arrow at the top of the screen. So if anyone moves it, and if you've been in a workshop, there's a scream as something disappears or moves off the screen, and you hear everyone shout Control Z, you know, and somebody then sheepishly presses it, and the stuff appears back again like magic. So, but again, you can lock that stuff down. You know, as another tip there, by pressing the padlock key. Control D, you can duplicate objects. So again, that's another fast way of creating stuff. And then, I don't know, James, if you can show something I like when you create a new board is using the start view. So for the first time someone comes into a board, after that it doesn't work. It's at the top, you can set the start view. So that's off that option there. And you click on it and then it gives you like an area, and then you can sort of set that in and out to give the area that you want to show someone the first time they come into the board. So I think that's another cool thing to give the illusion of professionalism when you're presenting to a crowd. So, and then the last two is again, templates and the Miro universe. The templates icons located on the left, top left, as James is ably showing. And there's an absolute load of stuff in there to explore that you can use as a basis. You can even populate them at first. And then if that's not enough, there's the MyReverse where all the users in the universe go and add their stuff. And there's absolute gold mines of things out there, the things you can find for ideas when you're looking for that something special for a meeting to give it that professional look. You know, invest some time in there and see what you can find. As I say, it's it is out there if you want to find it. So
the truth is out there.
The truth is out there, yeah. And then linking objects, which James, are you able to talk to that?
No.
Have you got anything?
There is a link, but essentially you can link objects together. So if you right click on an object and you say link to, you can actually insert a URL if you really want to link an external thing. But if you wanted to just link within something inside the board, you can actually just click on another object somewhere. So we can just click down there.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know
and then confirm that link. So the next time you come here and you click on this little arrow button, it actually takes you to that object on the board. So it's really handy. So that's really handy for wireframes. If anybody's doing wireframes or stuff like that, or if you want to move people through the board, sort of like a PowerPoint presentation rather than using frames.
Yeah.
Right, moving on.
On the next slide, we've kind of talked about, it goes into a wee bit more detail of the MyReverse, and you know, you've got things from mind mapping to Kanban boards. You know, Ben, you mentioned you know, the PI planning. It's even got PI planning templates in there, and lots of places where you can actually start. so you don't have to start from a blank screen and steal some ideas. So it's actually a great way to sort of build stuff up. I use it mercilessly.
Because you can't build anything
Because
from
I'm
scratch.
hopeless and I'm not creative at all, and I steal people's ideas. But hey, that's what I got here today.
Has anybody got any favorite templates that they use in here for anything in particular? I don't think there's many wireframing ones from memory. There's a couple.
100% the group post-it notes and the dot voting just makes it quick and easy to set up those types of things.
Yeah,
but also the wireframing and the mind mapping. The teams I work with. But the other one that's really, really useful is the Kanban board because it's so flexible. It's so cool.
Brilliant.
Yeah, I use that for our PI planning. I don't use the templates because people drag things and it stays in the sprint.
Yeah.
So and we have like 6 sprints across the top of the board, looking remarkably like that, and it's just much easier to move around. And one of the things I've done in the past is with Jira and with DevOps, you can integrate and then you can create the tickets from there too. So for us Agile coaches, it reduces the overhead of writing stuff up, which we hate and avoid at all costs. But yeah, that's the MyReverse. It's huge, but awesome.
Just a quick one, Lee, James, just before we move on, the menu on the left-hand side, and how you can pick different things to put into that menu where you frequently use. Can you pick a sub menu? Like I go to the highlighter that much, but I've got to go through the pen to get to the highlighter. Is there a way to select the highlighter through and put it on that shortcut board?
That's interesting. James is trying. I've never tried that. You've obviously tried to drag it and it didn't go.
Yeah, I tried it, but it's only really when you do the 3 dots down the bottom that you can add new stuff. It doesn't go to that second menu.
Yeah. Fair
That'd be
play.
interesting.
Why don't you right click it? Do you get anything?
No, you don't get nothing.
Is that next release? I don't know. That's maybe something, an enhancement we can request. But yeah, I could see the merit in that. If you're doing something all the time, to one click from 2 would be an awesome thing.
Yeah, because I had like a deck for the training I did, and I uploaded the PDF, and then I'd write directly on it, and then highlight different areas and put a tab to refer to it and stuff like that. And the amount of times, I highlighted it was, would have been useful.
A bit repetitive.
That's interesting. The good thing of starting up this chapter as well, we've got a direct line with the Miro developers. So there's like a Miro. There's like a secret group for the Miro chapter leads where we can put requests in just like anybody else, I guess. But I guess we get a bit more clout, maybe.
Yeah, and if enough people ask for it, it'll climb up their backlog and get done. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? So, but yeah, all right. Well, we'll think about that one. So probably the last slide, just keeping an eye on the time, because I know there's a Agile Brisbane gig. I don't know if anyone's going to that afterwards. I'm not. I'm going to the pub. Yeah, we're really, I think the redirection and reactions, I think you covered those, James. Is there anything you wanted to say on those two?
Timers and voting. So I only figured this out the other night. I knew there was timers and voting, but I didn't realize in preparation for a meeting, when you do the voting, you can actually have preset voting sessions, as they call them. So previously I just ran it straight away.
You've been working with me for how long?
Yeah.
But it's a good piece of functionality.
And then you can also sort of change where they can vote and what particular objects they can vote on as well, and how many votes you get and the time limit. So it's pretty cool. We'll probably try that tonight and see if it actually works out quite well. The presentation mode, that's the one I'm in now, and then the chats. So chats, here we go. That's handy. It's kind of funny the amount of collaboration tools that we have now in sort of our virtual or remote world that we live in, where you've got Teams or Slack, email, and then you've also got the Miro board. If you can facilitate in Miro and do the video presenting, the sharing of the screen, and actually have the chat all in the one spot, I'd say it's pretty handy.
I think that's something I'd like to experiment with. I've not actually used the video chat. I don't know if anyone's used the video chat maybe we can boldly try it the next time to see, so we don't need a Zoom meeting.
I would love that. I'm so sick of trying to manage 2 platforms. If we could practice and figure out how to work it, that would be awesome.
Yeah, I reckon that would be worth its weight. So,
yeah, I tried to do it with Lee the other night, but he's not the best candidate to practice things with. Or maybe he is, because he's so useless.
Yeah. There we are. There's a theme here. So yeah, the timers and voting, really cool. Presentation mode, which James has been kind of using. He doesn't go all the way in because he likes the whizzy round thing that happens when you press the presentation button down the bottom left. And yeah, the chats is very much just a nice add-on. And I like everything in one place. So I think that's something worth looking at moving forward.
Just looking at some examples now. So I've just basically pulled these from the templates out of the MyReverse, essentially. There's essentially endless ones. It's like software, right? If someone does it once, they usually save it, and then you can save your templates and publish them, so they're available to everybody. I've yet to come up with a decent template myself, though, to create one. We use the Kanban for our release planning, so it's just easy. We integrate with Jira, and we pull in our epics or our features into the board and just run with that. We run our team retros in Miro as well. I've done so many different variations and been to different teams doing different types of retros. This is pretty interesting. What else is
I'm running a remote planning poker
here we go.
game tomorrow. This is a cheap version that James has done. He's not as good on this tool as me, but my template is at my client site at the minute, but I'll share that. I want to turn it into a template, and it's literally, people drag their card on a 3-2-1 basis and make their estimate. So, we tried it this afternoon with our dev team as a warm-up. I've got it with 8 business people tomorrow afternoon, all remote, so I shall let you know how it goes. But again, making people from all around the world feel like they're in the same place.
There's another handy tool you can do. So this is a PowerPoint presentation, essentially. Someone's built this from scratch in Miro, but what you can do is you can upload your PowerPoints, as long as they're quite simple. It'll embed it as a single file, and you can navigate through the pages left and right as if it were a presentation, but it would just be one sort of square. And then you also have the option, if you right click on it, you have the option to export it into multiple slides, where it will automatically convert the PowerPoint slides into something like this. Now, depending how complex your PowerPoint slides are and the image resolution in them, it can look a bit off. So I tried to do it with our slides up here, and some of the text was off because I was using a bit of a transparent text, and it just didn't like that. It basically ignored all of that. So I found it easier just to create it from scratch, but it is possible to import a PowerPoint presentation and sort of split out the sides. The other one I wanted to touch on just quickly, for anybody who likes wireframes at the moment, as have used Adobe XD before. Has anybody heard of Adobe XD?
Tried to use it at my last engagement and couldn't figure it out, so I gave up.
Oh, really? Oh, it's a brilliant
Big
tool.
time.
It's an Adobe product, obviously, but what it allows you to do is you can, in the Adobe product itself, you can import different libraries, like UI libraries, like Google Material Design, your React components, and also your Cupertino stuff for Apple. And you can import all those things, and then you can just drag and drop it to build nice, cool wireframes. But if you get a chance, go and have a look at this video that they play through, not really focusing on the integration between XD and Miro, even though it's great. It's the board. When they sort of zoom out from the wireframe and have a look at the whole board, you can see that they've got basically a whole product on a single board. So they've got the brainstorming section, they've got the product vision, story maps, user personas, and then you can see the different iterations of the release planning and stuff. So it's really good. So I'm starting to think that I might try and get my whole team to move the whole product into a single board and just capture all the notes and everything to do with the product in a single place. Makes it quite easy, as well as having Jira in there. But yeah, that's
Big
just
changes.
something I'm going to trial and see if it works out. Right,
Yeah.
where are we at now? Next
Well,
steps.
20 minutes left, so I think we need to start
We
getting to the work bit.
Right, I'll bring everyone here. So bring everyone to me. You should all automatically. There we go. We've got magic powers. It's a magician. Right, did you want to run this one? Oh.
Yeah, sure. So this is a totally made up exercise, as always. So yeah, what we want to do is really sort of think about, let's have a broad sweep. You know, I always say in Jeff Patton's terms, you know, a mile wide, inch deep. Let's think about all the things that we'd like to learn about Miro, or imagine all the things that we'd like to learn, and we can start to build our backlog. And so feel free to just start randomly typing stuff in and empty all your thoughts into post-its. And what we'll try and do then is we'll try and categorize them. Is there like any themes that these things are in? So if we try and keep it in the left-hand column of the imagine, and then we'll try and prioritize it and try and work out what our next session is going to be about, when it's going to be, how are we going to do it? You know, are we going to keep doing remote, which I guess is kind of the theme of the tool, but we could still meet up somewhere and do a presentation, I guess. And yeah, who wants to be involved? The other thing is that, you know, this is a community. As hilarious as James and I are, that's all the material we have. But yeah, you know, it's just, you know, if someone's passionate about something and wants to demo it, yeah, and it can be about absolutely anything,
Yeah.
right?
Actually, thinking about that, when we had our release planning session probably 2 years ago at Origin, and you brought the Australian swimming coach in, what's his name?
Dean Boxall.
It'd be great to get on here. You'd have to put up a warning notice of swearing
Yes.
and
Yes.
profanity
Yeah,
a little bit.
Yeah. We'll save that one for after the Olympics. Eh?
Yeah, probably after.
He's a bit busy at the moment.
Yeah, true.
So, but yeah, if anyone's got any cool mates who know stuff, yeah, this can be anything, right? It doesn't have to be about technology or whatever.
There was actually something I was reading, because becoming chapter leads, we got access to the broader Miro sort of chapters, I guess, board where they collaborate, and there's all different ideas. There's a range of different boards, but there was one board I found which is like the master board, and it actually has other boards embedded in it. I haven't worked it out yet, or hadn't had a look at it yet, but that looks like something interesting that would be cool to play with. So essentially the board would just look like a little square on the board, and if you click on it, it actually takes you into the other Miro board, and you can just keep diving in and in and in. It's really interesting. You can get lost though. So
I use that a lot where I'm copying frames and everything, and it always labels the frames copy of. So you've actually got to put your heading inside the frame and then copy that. But then again, it mucks up the ordering of the frames for export. So it's just that, you know, how do you structure your board for maximum usage?
Yeah, it's cool.
There's some troubleshooting stuff here, isn't there? So I think there's Rachel's one, which is how to order your board. That one, the copying.
how do you reckon no one goes with that?
I don't know.
I was thinking it goes with exporting, right? Maybe.
Yeah.
All right, we'll put these two together. They're all similar.
Yeah.
Similar but different.
So
Yeah, let's make it blue. Cool. And then we've got a heap of agile related stuff, right? Enter versus tab when working in a mind map hierarchy diagram. Geez.
ooh, that's a bit deep.
I think that's
All
a
right.
Cashew one. It seems counterintuitive to Excel, like when you're working through an Excel diagram. So I was just wondering if I was doing something stupid or what the go was.
I wondered why it felt awkward. Yeah, no, it's fair enough.
How to pick different music. All right, come on. So we got a video collaboration kind of category, some exporting, more about the how-to of around specific functions of the board, and then a bit of an agile sort of kind of lean sort of group as well. Awesome. All right, now let's test out the voting.
This is the brave part.
Yeah.
We might answer it. The question here. But
So what we're voting on is essentially what we'll do is we'll vote three votes each. Yeah,
3 votes each.
2 minutes.
And do we vote per post-it or per colour?
It's sticky notes. So
We do it on the each sticky note.
yeah.
Yeah. So per sticky note, if there's anything that you like.
I'm assuming each of these will be a single video or event. All right, cool. Let's try and see if it works. All right, what got the most? Big room planning ideas. Oh, actually, there's we
It's 3.
all categories got it. Thanks. All right, we're gonna have to tally these up ourselves anyway. So 3, 1, 2, 3. What's that?
The green one looks.
3, 1, 2, 3. What did I say? 6, 7, 8, 9. Is that 9?
Yeah.
9. Then what do we got over here? 5. And this one is 5 as well. Sweet. So looks like the Agile 1 won.
Goodness.